This is the fourth class in Perek Hamafkid, which is in Masechtas Bava Metzia on Daf Lamed Daled Amud Aleph. Let's begin with a general outline of this class. Rava explained how a shemer chinam can be kind of the rights to kefil from the owner of the deposit before the kefil came into existence. We had a question: how is it possible for the owner to give the shemer chinam the rights to the kefil if the kefil doesn't exist? And Rava explained, because it's as if the owner told the shemer chinam at the time he gave him the deposit, if the cow gets stolen and you pay me, then the cow is sold to you from now. We changed two things. Number one, it didn't happen when the shemer chinam paid for the stolen cow. It's not that then the owner gave him the rights to kefil, but rather it's when the owner gave him the cow. And it's not that he gave him the rights to kefil, but rather he told him that if and when the animal is stolen and you choose to pay me, then I'm giving you now ownership over the cow. And therefore, automatically, as the owner of the cow, you will receive any payments from the ganav. And our Gemara now will consist of three things. Number one, Rabbi Zera will ask a question on Rava. He's going to point out that according to Rava, there is a little problem. Number two, Rabbi Zera will give his own answer because of his question on Rava's explanation. He's going to give a different answer, which is basically the same, but a little different, so it solves that problem. And number three, the Gemara will ask a question on Rabbi Zera and answer it. So we'll have a question on Rava, the answer of Rabbi Zera, and then a question and an answer on the answer of Rabbi Zera. So let's see the Gemara now in the flowchart form. So we'll start off with the flowchart from before, because we're continuing from it. So here we had the question, how can the owner give over the rights to kefil if they're not in existence? And then we had the answer of Rava, because he's not giving him over the rights to kefil, but rather he's telling him that if and when the cow is stolen and you choose to pay me, I'm giving you ownership of the cow. And therefore, automatically, the shemer chinam has the rights to the kefil or the payments of dalad v'hei. So Rabbi Zera asked, if so, the shemer should also get the shearing and the offspring. According to Rava, if when the cow or the sheep is stolen, later on the sheep grows wool, or there are children that are born, according to Rava's answer, those should belong to the shemer, because when it was stolen and the shemer then goes and pays the owner for the stolen animal, the owner then is telling him that based on what I said before, you own the cow now. I said that if it's and when it's stolen and you choose to pay me, you own the cow from when I gave it to you. So that means the cow belongs to the shemer. So therefore, automatically, just like he has the rights to kefil and dalad v'hei, he also has the rights to anything else related to this animal, whether it's the shearing of the wool or whether it's offspring. And the question is, so why does it say in a brisa, except for the shearing and offspring, that he has the rights to various things, to kefil, to dalad and hay, but he does not have the rights to shearing and offspring? And therefore, Rabbi Zera presents a different answer, so it comes out, because it's from our question. We had the question, then we had the answer. Rabbi Zera doesn't like it, so now we go to a different answer. Rabbi Zera's answer is, rather, Rabbi Zera said, it's as if the owner added to his statement, except for the shearing and offspring. So let's see that. It's saying, if it's stolen, I'm giving it to you, I'm giving you my animal, if you choose to pay, I'm giving it to you, except for the offspring. So then we basically have the answer of Rabbi Zera, which is the same thing as Rava, just he adds on this detail. However, we're going to see that there's a problem with Rabbi Zera. So he's telling it to him before he gives it to him. What's the problem with Rabbi Zera? The question that we have in Rabbi Zera. And why did Rabbi Zera decide? That's what each person has in mind. What Rava says makes sense. The owner is telling the shemer chinam, I'm willing to give you ownership of this cow from now, if and when later it's stolen and you pay me. Why would every owner say this? It's worthwhile to forgo and give up the possibility of the ganav being caught. In exchange, he's getting a payment. So he'd rather receive the payment than the possibility that maybe the ganav will be caught and maybe he'll have to pay kefil. So it makes sense that every owner says this. But why would we say that every owner is saying, I'm giving it over to you if you pay me, but except for the shearing and offspring? Why would he exclude the shearing and the offspring, but include in his sale the kefil and the dalad and hay? Why would he limit the extent that he's giving it over to him? And the Gemara answers, so let's just see what the scroll, that he is giving the animal and the kefil to the shemer chinam, but not the shearing and offspring. Why would we say everybody has this in mind? And the Gemara answers, it makes sense. The explanation is, it makes sense that a person gives away profit from external sources and not from the animal itself. The owner basically looks at his cow and thinks to himself, I'm giving over this cow in exchange for certain payment, because the cow might never be returned to me if it's stolen. But I need to give something in addition. So I'll give him some additional things that are related to the cow being stolen, kefil, dalad, and hay. But additional things that are from the cow itself, that the owner is not willing to give over. So that's basically the Gemara. We had the issue that Rabbi Zera pointed out with Rava, that according to Rava, the Shomer should also be entitled to anything related to the cow, anything related to the sheep, which would include the shearing or the offspring. And we learned in the Brisa that he's not entitled to that. So therefore, Rabbi Zera explained that what the owner is saying is that if and when it's stolen, if you decide to pay me, I'm giving over to you everything related to the cow except for the shearing and offspring. That means the cow itself will belong to you. You paid me for it. It'll belong to you. And in addition, you'll also get the rights to Dalid and hay, kefil, Dalid and hay, because you took a risk. Maybe you won't get back anything, so I'll give that to you. The question, however, what I'm not giving to you is the shearing and the offspring. And the question is, why do we establish that that's what everybody's saying, that they're excluding the shearing and offspring, but they're including kefil, Dalid, and hay? And the answer is, it makes sense that the owner's going to give over things that are external to his animal. However, things related to the animal itself that really originally belonged to him, that he's not going to be willing to give over.